The Curse of the Roses conclusion. The haze. The haze always returned. That was how I knew the roses were ready again. Soon. It loosened the edges of things. Thought, distance, resolve. The kind of air that makes intention feel unnecessary, that stretches the space between wanting and deciding until the difference disappears. It lingered low and patient, drifting from bloom to bloom, a shared breath the roses exhaled when they were ready. It wasn't dramatic. It never was. Just a quiet clarity creeping in, lines sharpening, corners remembering themselves. And beyond the roses, too close now, the farmhouse began to assert its shape. The roses did not stop at fences. They never had. They didn't understand property, only reach, only desire. That was when I saw him. He paused, inhaling as if the air itself were a prayer. The roses swirled around him, petals trembling, their scent layering thick and sweet, almost imperious. His eyes closed. His chest rose and fell like a rhythm only he could hear, as though the garden itself was chanting, and he had finally understood the words. He whispered, a confession to the petals, to the earth, to something older and stranger than either of us.
I've never felt so alive.
I stepped back, keeping myself in the shadows of the blooms. Not mine to join, not mine to claim. And yet, heat curled in my belly, a strange and startling awe. Love, quiet and sharp, threaded through me. It was not for possession, not for human desire. It was for him, for this surrender, for the way the roses could claim a person and make them holy, if only for a moment. He straightened, brushing petals from his sleeves. Then slowly, he reached out. His hand found mine, rough, strong, grounding. He looked down, fingers tracing over my skin, and murmured,
So soft.
I didn't know if he meant me, or the roses, or some impossible combination of the two. His eyes met mine, a twinkle dancing in them.
I think I could stay here forever.
I smiled, almost reluctantly. I hoped you'd say something like that. He let out a deep, steady sigh, taking in the garden, the roses, the glimmering lake in the distance, the farmhouse softened by the fading sun. His smile was contagious, lifting the weight of the day just enough. The sun slanted through petals and stone, gold and warm. He soaked it all in, every quiet pulse of the land, every whisper of light and shadow. A pause hung between us, not words, but understanding. Matrimony of purpose, if not of flesh. Life intertwined with the roses, joined in a way some unions are meant to be, unbroken and enduring. He had crossed farther into the garden than before, past where people usually stopped, past where they felt watched. The roses welcomed him. I stayed back, letting him have this moment. This was not mine to take. The haze thickened around him, even as it thinned elsewhere. A local gravity, a soft enclosure. He paused, as if noticing the shift, not with fear, but with relief. He took off his gloves. That mattered. The roses brightened, glistening, near human in their attention. Their petals caught the light the way skin does when it's warm. He breathed in. The farmhouse wavered. I felt the land hold its breath. He knelt slowly, reverently, as if he had found the correct posture without being told. Thorns pressed into him, not sharply, purposefully. He leaned forward, accepted. I reminded myself not to interfere, not to hoard. Sharing is what keeps the roses kind. By the time the haze spread outward again, he was no longer separate from them. His weight had settled into the soil. His warmth had been taken. The roses closed the space he left behind. The fountain would rise. The farmhouse softened, its edges dulled. Forgetting returned, gentle and complete. The land exhaled. From a distance, it looked the way it always had. That was the point. He wasn't the first to be called. He won't be the last. He had given himself, fully. The roses had claimed him, absorbed him. No one would remember. No one would ask. The haze thickened, softening the farmhouse, the edges of the land, the corners of the world. It was quiet, complete, resolved. The fountain would rise again. The roses would bloom. Life, pulled through petals and thorns, would continue. I stepped back, letting the garden breathe. My hands moved over leaves and stems, pruning, tending, mulching. The ritual demanded attention, demanded care. I worked as if the world depended on it, because in a way, it did. The air carried their scent, thick, almost alive, a reminder of what had been given. I did not look for him. There was no one left to find. I would return each day. I would prepare. I would wait. The roses never forgot, and neither would I, until the next cycle. If you want to understand why, don't look away.